I need to replace my Porsche 911 that I recently sold. But what's the furthest thing from a 911? A Mustang. What is going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Eat, Sleep, Drive, and as you could tell by the intro, I am buying a GT350. I'm super pumped. It is what I'm replacing my 911 with, and I'm sure that's gonna upset a lot of people that I'm replacing a 911 with a Mustang, but trust me, the GT350 is something else. If you don't know anything about it, basically the premise is it has a flat plane crank V8, which, all technical speak aside, makes unbelievable noises and revs to 8,200 RPM. So it is a beast. The car is in just outside New York City, so that's where I'm on my way now. I'm on my way to catch a shuttle to the airport, and I'm meeting up with my buddy Justin. He's coming with me on the trip. The significance of him coming on the trip is the fact that he owns a GT350 himself. He just bought it a couple months ago, and he's like the reason that basically I'm buying mine, because I drove his and it's phenomenal. So I'm gonna meet up with him now. We're gonna hit the airport. We'll go to New York City, grab this car. It's gonna be fun. Let's go. Like most evening flights I've been on lately, this one was delayed, which was annoying because while this was only a one-day trip, we wanted to see as much of New York City as we could this evening. Eventually we landed, and wow, LaGuardia Airport is a shithole. We finally got a lift to the hotel, and then it was time for some exploring. While we were out having a few beers, we saw Floyd Mayweather's entourage, a parking lot where they literally stack cars on top of each other, and of course, Times Square. Welcome to New York City. We made it to New York, got a hotel in Times Square, and yeah, never been here before. It's like 1 in the morning and it feels like it's 1 in the afternoon because it's so light from all these LCD screens, or whatever you want to call them. As much as I wanted to keep exploring, we had an early train to catch the following morning, so off to bed we went. I think the main thing I'll remember from New York is actually the trash. Lots and lots of trash. Good morning, we're in New York, just woke up from the hotel. Our room was definitely in the lobby. It was like room 108, and I was like, oh, that's cool, we're on the first floor, but like, no, we were literally in the lobby of this hotel, and got woken up by like screaming kids at 6 a.m. It was fantastic. Right now, heading to Grand Central Station to pick up a train. The car is actually in like Sanford, Connecticut or something like that, just outside the city, so we're gonna hit train because that's apparently the best way to do it. So hopefully we can catch this thing in time, kind of a time crunch. 8:48 right now. The train leaves at like 9:05, so let's see if we get it. If I'm being honest, taking the train ride out to meet the seller, I had my doubts. I sold my 911 for what? Am I really buying a Mustang? I've really never been a Mustang guy. But I tell you what, absolutely all of that went away the second he fired up the car. While the previous owner didn't drive the car in the snow, he did have some winter wheels and tires for when temperatures got cold, because Lord knows the factory tires don't like freezing temps. We loaded the car with the spares and went on a test drive. So it starts with GT350 ownership. Going super slow to try not scrape the lip. We clear. I love that shifter. I miss that shifter from last time I was in your car. I feel like it should be louder. We'll have to ask him. There has to be like a thing. But dude, this is so friggin' perfect. This road is cool.
You're also real low RPMs. Like
Yeah,
it doesn't start.
true,
It doesn't start screaming until 4.
That's true. Yeah, dude. It feels like it does feel kind of big. I think mostly just because of the hood. Like there's that big bulge over the hood.
Yeah.
But the suspension is great. Like so far, it's not.
Is this your first magnetic ride?
Yes. Like I've had adaptive dampers before, but not magnetic dampers. But it just feels like it wants to go. The steering is really good too.
Yeah.
The steering is really
well
good.
weighted.
I can't tell, like, I'm not pushing it hard enough to see if there's any feel, but like the weight is perfect, yeah. Sun's coming out. This is perfect. He even gave us a full tank of gas. What a guy. In front of me, I just see like track apps and I want to go into it. Obviously not going to. Not yet. Do these have line lock? Like all the rest of the Mustangs? The GTs have like electronic line lock, so you can do sick burnouts.
Yeah, it's got all that.
Yeah. The visibility isn't hateful.
You just got to get used to the corner mirrors.
These brakes.
Yeah.
Oh man, I love these brakes. I love this gearbox though. Have you driven the regular GT gearbox?
No. I've never been in any other Mustang.
It's so shitty. I don't even know who it's made by, but it's shitty.
Ford. They make their own transmissions.
Made by Ford.
Yeah.
All right, well, we're gonna go to the bank, close the deal. I'm already sold. I haven't even driven this thing a mile, but it seems pretty as advertised. After transferring the money and doing all the paperwork, it was finally on.
It's where you should be recording.
Now we're in sport mode. What? This is a factory exhaust car? And I'm going like south, right? Yeah. 15 south. Okay. Oh my God.
Now watch your mirrors.
Yeah, dude, it just keeps pulling. God, there's just like a crazy resonance to it that just like my hair is standing up on my freaking arm. God, that sounds good.
My toes are curled.
We had about 650 miles left to cover today, but what a great way to get to know this incredible car. Okay, now that the car is in my possession, we can talk numbers briefly. This was, well, at least when I was looking, the cheapest GT350 in the country. I paid 43 grand for this car, and it's interesting because one just went on Bring a Trailer, exact same color combination, very similar mileage. I think it had 8,000 miles on it or something like that. This one has 13,000 miles on it. So pretty low mileage, still under warranty obviously because it's still pretty new, but I thought 43 grand was a really good price for this car. All the other ones I saw online were like closer to 50 for 2016s. So pretty good buy all around. The guy I bought it from had a pretty interesting taste. He had a Fiat 500 Abarth, which obviously he picked us up in, and then he also had a 996 Turbo that he recently sold as well. So good taste in cars, and I thought it was kind of interesting. I came from a 911, he came from a 911 as well. So Mustangs are not super popular for like Porsche buyers, but this is kind of an interesting car. So 43 grand, real happy with the deal. I'll go into more specifics on like my first driving impressions of the car. We'll do a full review later on, but I'll just talk about what I've noticed so far in the couple hours I've been driving it. The drive was going pretty well, but unfortunately we encountered some nasty storms. Fortunately, there were a few tunnels along the way to break up the monotony. Gets you in trouble because like you don't want to shift, you want to take it to red line, but you're going like some ungodly speed. That was like third gear. Let's take this opportunity to talk about my basically first impressions with the car. I'm not going to call this a review, and I'm going to try and not cover things that have been covered like crazy in the media about the car, like the engine. Obviously the engine's amazing, it sounds amazing. You can't really undersell that, but still, I don't want to like just pound home what's already been covered with this car. Things that I think are underrated, the brakes. The brakes are phenomenal. Excellent pedal feel. They stop like crazy. They're better than my brakes on my Carrera S, if that gives you an indication as to how good they are. The suspension is phenomenal. This magnetic ride in this car is not only sporty, but it's compliant. I have it in normal mode, and I see no reason to put it in anything but normal mode. I guess if you're on a track, you can put it in sport mode, but it is just phenomenal. These magnetic dampers were an incredible asset to the car and make it more worth the $60,000 new price. While we're on the topic of kind of different driving modes, I like that there aren't a ton. Basically in your settings you just have like normal and sport. So for the steering, normal and sport. For the exhaust, normal and sport. For the magnetic ride, normal and sport. There's not like, the M cars have like 20 different degrees of sportiness. And what Justin and I were talking about shortly ago is basically that just out of the box it's good. I don't really have any desire to modify the mode themselves. Just normal mode is just very good. The only one that I do find myself modifying, of course, is the exhaust mode, which is nice that you can do that on the fly and it doesn't have to be in sport mode or something like that. We've been in the car for a decent amount of time and these seats are great, comfortable, super supportive. Everything falls out of your pockets when you sit in these seats, everything. This screen is comically small. This is a first year GT350. Justin's is a 2017, and his you could get like the convenience / tech package with the track package. And this year you could only get either or. So I'm very glad that the previous owner got the track package, but it is kind of comical, like how terrible this infotainment is. We've been like messing around with it, and it's pretty bad. But obviously, you don't buy this car for that. You know, outside of that, we were talking about as well, like there are Ford-isms with this car. I think Justin used that word, which I think it's perfect because it still has Ford qualities. It still has regular Mustang qualities, which is, you know, everyone knows that about this car. Like there's some cheapness. There's like some oddities with, in my opinion, how the steering wheel controls work and like how even like the lane change works. It's a Ford product. You know, this isn't a German product. It drives like a German car, but the niceties and you know, luxuries are not at all German. But you know, it's a $60,000 super special car, and I think it's money well spent. After several fuel stops and a whole lot of caffeine, we finally made it home. Well guys, that's it. I made it home, thankfully. It was a long drive. I'm super tired. Obviously it's the next morning, and just didn't want to wrap up the video last night because I was exhausted and it was dark. Love this car. It didn't disappoint in any way. It's everything that I thought it was gonna be. So I'm really pumped to own this thing for a while and maybe do some modifications. And you can see all those modifications here on Eat Sleep Drive. You can follow me in between videos at Eat Sleep Drive TV on Instagram if you want to check that out. That would be cool. And yeah, just look forward to future episodes with this car. I had a great trip. Thanks to Justin. Thanks to Ricardo for selling me the car. And we'll see you guys next time.